Now, as a film.
He's been an inspiration in my life because his movies were the movies that had sort of made me become an actor. Specifically, The Godfather Part One, the first, initially, and The Conversation before that. But The Godfather Part One turned my life around, changed my life, and then Two came and smacked me again. So, the fact that I was able to participate in the third one, that was, it's all this sort of magic dream. Experience with him as an actor, but also an inspiring filmmaker. And I went in with yeah, he's very experimental, and he creates a very great space for actors to play in. And he has a boyish enthusiasm about himself. He's very professorial, talks about history and things, and even older movies. And this scene is inspired by the Red Shoes, Michael Powell's The Red Shoes. And he'll talk about that for a long time, and then sets the scene. And if it's another scene, he'll say, well, back in the 1800s, there was this incident. And it's like I said to the gentleman over here, it just occurred to me that, you go into working with him in a movie, and you go in with seeking an associate degree, and you walk out with a master's degree.
I love that. Did you?
First of all, he led the charge, this sort of this wave of filmmakers who could make popular entertainment, stuff that people could really, really sink their teeth into, love, line up for, and see over and over again. And yet it was driven with a kind of that almost European sense of the filmmaker, a vision, an artist expressing him or herself. And so he proved that. He proved that was possible for so many people.
Right here on your right.
I kind of always knew I had a different upbringing. I remember visiting the set of Dracula, and my grandfather tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned around, and there was Gary Oldman dressed as the Bat, and so it was just like those funny little life experiences.
Is there something, do you remember kind of when he instilled on you that you thought you wanted to be a filmmaker? Did it feel like you ever even had a thought about it, or was it just a given?
I was just raised with his storytelling and always sort of making ideas tangible, and we'd have summer camps where everyone was doing one-act plays, and so it just sort of felt natural just to be in this environment. And I think I kind of resisted it for a long time, but I went to college for photography, and it sort of became an extension of that, of like another way to challenge myself.
Okay.
My wife here was pregnant with our second child at the time when we were making the movie, and
he gave rings to the kids.
Yes, exactly. He would carry these little toy rings in his pocket. And I remember our daughter Mia was there visiting, as long as one of his granddaughter, Gia, and he put the little rings on their fingers just because he would carry these little toy rings in his pocket. So that's the kind of person he was and is. So.
And then gentlemen, do you mind right here? Gentlemen, sit in one more if I could. Gentlemen, right here, gentlemen.
The Godfather 1 and 2 is, to me, some of the two greatest movies ever made. And right behind it is Apocalypse Now. If you look at Apocalypse Now and that fact that he went into the jungle with not even with the money to make the movie yet, and made this movie with no CGI or anything, it's extraordinary. It's an extraordinary accomplishment, and it's an extraordinary film. You need to revisit it.
Yeah. And then to wrap up, I'm curious for you, we're here celebrating, and there's so many filmmakers and actors that are just from this really pivotal time in film history. Are you feeling optimistic about sort of the future of film, or do you feel like this was the golden age,
When I saw Megalopolis, I left with this thought, and I mentioned it to Francis, and I said, you know, there's no great obstacle that can't be overcome by a dream. And if at this point in time, if our industry is negotiating obstacles, it will be conquered by dreams, and filmmakers' dreams, and actors' dreams, and actresses' dreams, you know? And that's what's going to pull it through.
And Francis, give us a wave.